Hi, welcome to Bretz RV. My name is Scotty and I'm one of our salesmen here at Bretz RV. I've been in the business approximately 20 years, and today I'm going to show you a Keystone product called Cougar. Something we're going to go through with Cougar is, even though Keystone makes a lot of different brands, they all are a little different, and they're all made in different manufacturers and compete with each other quite a bit. So there's lots of differences, and today we're going to go over just a few for you. Today what I like to talk about is, first of all, we have a bonded wall. Now what a bonded wall is, it's made like a piece of paper. So when they bond a wall, we use aluminum throughout all of our walls. There's still companies that are bonding a wood wall. And the issue when you bond a wood wall is there's screw holes everywhere you see throughout a whole sidewall. If any water were to get in there, and believe me, with Mother Nature, it will. Anything with wood in a bond will actually expand, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen the days where you've seen a wall bulge out. That's what's called delamination. You're not going to see that on a Cougar product because it's all aluminum instead of wood. They're the only manufacturer in this price range that we know of that actually went to a third-party customer, which would be Dometic, the refrigerator company, put their 37-foot fifth wheel in a chamber for 0 degrees for 48 hours. And everything I'm telling you on these Cougars is the same on their 24-foot all the way to their 37-foot. So they actually blow heat down in their area, and it's rated at 0 degrees for 48 hours, and it passed. And they're using a 30,000 BTU furnace on every single Cougar that we have. Another thing I like to go through, which really differs us from other folks, is we have a remote system. The neat thing about a remote system, the first thing I always talk about, if you want to follow me, if any of you have ever owned a fifth wheel before, you know the pleasures of backing into a fifth wheel. So I'm going to act like I'm in my truck right here. I'm going to act like I'm looking over the back seat of my truck, and as you pull backwards and you look back and that pin height is wrong, which it typically is, you typically have to get out of your truck, run all the way back to the fifth wheel, hit this button up or down to bring the jacks up or down. You got to jump all the way back in your truck. As you're in your truck and you're backing up again, all of a sudden you realize you just raised it too high. What do you got to do? You got to jump all the way out of your truck again. You got to go all the way up. And this is typical with most fifth wheels in this price range. This little puppy allows you not to jump out of your truck every single time. So the advantage is if this pin is off, you can be in your truck and literally hit the up and down buttons and bring these jacks up and down so you can go right in. And you'll also use hitch vision. Hitch vision is a design with this that allows you to see when you're backing up so you can get in the right hitch in the right spot. The second thing this will do, let's take a look at that there. The second thing this will do is probably one of my most favorite features, but if you look at the outside of these slides on every manufacturer, it seems like they're a bonded fiberglass, and then they use aluminum down here. The reason why a lot of companies use aluminum is when people are putting their slide outs out, they're typically inside on a wall, they're pushing a button, they're running their slide out, so they're not outside watching those little water spigots, little concrete pillars that you're running into. And we constantly replace this aluminum, and it's anywhere from 1,000 to 2,200 depending on which coach it is. Well, the nice thing is you don't need two people with a Cougar. You can stand here, push this button for your slide, physically be down here and watch the slide come out. So you know what, we need to come out another inch, or we need to move our coach over another inch or two. With this remote system, you can do that. This thing does 4 things. The third one it does, if you want to follow me, let's say that mom is at home, or you're out fishing and you got your wife sitting here drinking lemonade, you got the awning out, and all of a sudden the wind picks up. A lot of people have to run inside and hit a button when the wind comes up. She can sit right here and press this button and bring everything in and out. She can also bring the awning an inch out, a foot out, or all the way out. So if you got trees sitting out here, everything's power. So the fourth thing this will do, if you're coming home late at night, you got stuff scattered everywhere, you're after fishing, you can hit a button here and bring your lights on out here. So it'll also turn your lights on. Really neat feature. Now all these things, if for some reason you didn't have the remote or you lost it, which people do at home with all kinds of remotes, you can work everything inside also. All right, the next thing we're going to show you is the pass-through storage on a Cougar. They've gone to slam latch doors, which the advantage of a slam latch door is no more when you shut the door and you're done doing your thing and you walk away, you can literally take this and drop it, just like I'm going to do here. And of course you get all the pass-through storage When you drop this coach, automatically shuts. So no more do you have to sit over there, turn every single knob on this. Now, if you look at start of your high-end fifth wheels, that's what they're gonna do. Also, when you go through Cougars, they're gonna be 3 steps. They're gonna be rounded steps versus square. They're all gonna have the non-skid version here. Big grab assist handles. No one's getting any younger, it seems like, in our industry. So what happens, these handles go like this as they travel. As you come out, they're wonderful to grab a hold of and get in instead of this little dinky handle that you see through here. If you look at this sticker also, the Polar Package Plus, this is an Oregon-built coach that we sell here at Bretz. The Oregon-built coaches just have bigger frame rails, 8-inch versus 6-inch. They'll also have the extra insulation under the underbelly also. A lot of our clients, they're constantly saying, well, where do I put generators? Where do I put firewood? Where do we put bicycles when we take a fifth wheel? So Cougar came up with a design now that there's 2 pins that have already pulled on each side, and you just pull this back, and now you have a 200-pound back rack. We've had people, I've seen deer on these things, we've seen elk, we've seen generators, firewood, bicycles. It does have a little bike rack that pops off here. This pulls up, pops right into here, and then you can put the bicycles on for the kiddos. Also, the power comes out directly here, so if you did put your generators here, you can hook everything up through here. All right, a few things inside. That little remote I showed you, we have a perfect little storage spot for it. So like I said earlier, up here is where you store it. Sits right in here. You can bring all your slides and remember I told you earlier, most people are standing here putting their slide room out so they can't see what's outside. So that's why that's so valuable. And of course you can go through everything, all your tank levels and everything. The next thing we like to talk about is the floor system on here. Their floor system is just like their sidewall. First off, you have this stuff here that is a 6-layer bow floor. It's actually a 6-layer rubber versus linoleum. The problem with linoleum we see in the winter times, you come out on linoleum, you'll see that they glue a lot of it down, and with winter and summer it expands and contracts and cracks quite a bit. So they've gone to this new rubber. In the summertime you can dig your fingernails into this stuff. It's really neat. I take a lot of these kids with cleats and they walk all the way through and it doesn't hurt them. So this is a bonded floor just like the sidewall. So it's one solid piece with foam all the way through being aluminum, and then they go all bow floor on top of it. They have gone to maple cabinetry. So they're using true maple cabinet doors. It's all a mortise and tenon joint, which fits like this under here. So this is just like a door, or nicer than you'd have at home. When we get into our couches area, if you have extra people sleeping with you, if you have kids or relatives coming, they have gone probably to the simplest couch in the industry. You take these 2 pillows off, and all you need to do is pull this, flop it down to the floor. That chair moves obviously, and an air bed literally sits right on here, and you blow up the air bed. Now, one thing I talk about air beds is most companies with air beds are still using 110 power for air beds. The issue I see with 110 power in air beds, if you're trying to blow up an air bed and you're at a place like Holter Lake, they don't have plug-ins at their campground, so you got to use a generator. Well, a lot of those companies, or a lot of those campgrounds, excuse me, you can't use generators past 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So this one is done on 4D batteries. It has a little pump, it inflates and deflates, and usually we store them when they're brand new right here. Here's a little pump we use that actually stores. So usually we store their actual air bed inside here, so it doesn't take up your storage, but great storage under the couches on these two. All right, the next thing we're going to show you is windows on these things. These guys use, a lot of companies will just do a nightshade, which meaning nightshade is strictly this one right here. So you either you can see through or you can't. With a Cougar, they're going to give you both the day and the nightshade. So the day shade allows you to actually see through the window. The nightshade will actually close everything off. Great feature. Seems like a lot of people seem to like that feature in there. Key is doing one at a time. When I talk about our slides, a lot of manufacturers, if they put a window on the side, which it seems like they're doing, they're not venting them. Ours both vent on both sides, have both the day-night shades. You have to have that cross ventilation. Well, if you look at these 2 big windows, they crank out, okay? So the advantage of these 2 windows is you can leave them open when it's raining. The other thing that Cougar does really well is they do all solid wood, ball bearing, metal ball bearing drawers. This is nicer than what I have at home. So the advantage is it's not plastic or it's not those little metal running guides. These are actually ball bearing full extensions out. And if you come around here, they probably have the 2 biggest drawers in the industry. They fully come out. So they all come all the way out. They're all solid wood. They're on the same ball bearing drawers. It's all your big pots and pans that you're always looking to put in camping. These guys have plenty. Cougar has gone to a U-shaped dinette versus the standard traditional smaller dinette. The advantage of this, obviously, it's bigger. You're going to be able to fit more people in it. They've also gone away from those poles that are mounted in the floor. What everybody hated about your knees kept hitting, you couldn't move them around. They've gone to a movable table that you can physically move out to make the bed with this table. The last thing on the dinette is what I like to point out is in years past, I see a lot of manufacturers that go square in the corners. There's no rounded corner. If you've ever sat in that, it's extremely uncomfortable. So they've rounded their corners and put a cup holder in them. It's made them real nice. They've also gone to a bigger LCD TV, which the nice thing about this, if you decide you want to watch it in the booth, this comes out, moves, you can move the whole TV any position you want from any chair you're going to watch from. They've also gone to a DVD player that is 12 volt. So now you have a radio that's actually 12 volt. There's still companies out there I see still using 110 radios. Kind of eliminates it when you're out camping in the woods, you don't have power besides your 12 volts. So it is a DVD player also that will play on here. Something these guys switched this year is they've gone to a all-in-one bathroom versus walking in to one big open area. The nice thing about this is if you have friends and neighbors that come over and visit and they need to use the restroom, they're not walking into your bedroom to use the restroom. So if you look at this, you have one door here, and you actually have an access door to the bedroom also. So you can keep that bedroom closed if people come in and use the restroom. This is a porcelain toilet. This isn't a plastic toilet. The bedroom obviously has a RV queen with closets on both sides. Probably one of the biggest cabinets for food. Great storage for food. If you get a good depth shot of that, these guys, it's one thing they don't lack is storage. They have a gob of storage. The refrigerator is not a 1 through 5 temperature setting like a lot of companies have that you're constantly playing with it. This will know where it needs to be. If the freezer needs to be at 25, it'll stay within 26, 25, and 24. There is a miniature temperature setting interior where if you like your milk a little bit colder, you can adjust it in micros, but probably one of the best sophisticated ones out. I've used them both. Well, I want to thank you for walking through the #1 selling fifth wheel in the country, the Cougar by Keystone. If you have any questions on any of this, please call me. My name is Scotty Tips with Bretz RV. I can be reached at 406-880-0305. Thank you.